Hello, and welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged, and today I'm talking about the failures of All Stars 5. We all know it wasn't a good season, but what specifically went wrong? The first major flaw of All Stars 5 was the bad lip syncs. Before I get into why All Stars 5 failed, first I want to talk about how All Stars 6 succeeded at the same thing. All Stars 5 was the first season to introduce the lip sync assassin format, and it didn't really land. Meanwhile, we have All Stars 6 just a year later, absolutely knocking it out of the park. The question is, why? What specifically did All Stars 6 do differently than All Stars 5? My personal opinion on what the difference was is lip syncer quality. It is no secret that some queens are just better lip syncers than others, and I think that is the main difference. All Star 6, week after week, we had people like Raja, Kylie, Ginger, Trinity. All of them are great lip syncers and were able to consistently give good performances. Meanwhile, on All Stars 5, you have Ms. Cracker and Jujubee not knowing the words, making up 4 of the 7 lip syncs. For some specific examples, I think Shea versus Vanjie is a perfect embodiment of where this season went wrong in terms of lip syncs. It's not a bad lip sync. Shea and Vanjie are both good lip syncers, and they gave an adequate performance. It just wasn't great. A season with high lip sync quality will regularly draw in viewers. We see it time and time again, the lip syncs are the #1 part of the show. No one remembers specifics from the All Stars 2 Comedy Challenge or the Season 11 Snatch Game, but everyone remembers Alyssa versus Tatiana and Evie versus Brooke. The lip syncs this season generally weren't terrible, they just weren't good enough to bring people back. Another part of why this twist flopped so hard was lip sync assassin quality. Kennedy Davenport is one of the greatest lip syncers the show has ever seen. The show did not utilize her well. Instead of giving her something she could realistically dance to, they gave her Fancy, a song where Ms. Cracker was reasonably able to beat her. This is also the case for several other lip syncs where it really felt like the assassin was holding back. You cannot tell me that Alyssa, Kennedy, even Morgan were leaving it all out on that stage. The lip sync assassins this season were holding back in around half of the lip syncs, and the actual competitors were holding back or just not good in the rest of them. I personally think Livin' La Vida Loca is the only good lip sync on both parts of the entire season. This brings me into the assorted lip sync flops. There were 3 specific ones. It was Jujubee not knowing the words to Juice, Ms. Cracker being Ms. Cracker in that lip sync against Roxy, and then Alyssa just not giving it her all. The lip sync songs were great this season. On paper, all of the lip syncers were great this season. This should have been a season with some of the best lip syncs we've ever seen, but because of production, it just didn't work out that way. The second reason this season failed as badly as it did was bad casting. This was very much the season of some stars. The first bad casting choice was India Farah. I mean, mild offense to India when I say this, but was there no one else? Was no one else able to make it to filming? What did India do on her season to get brought back? The only thing that she was remembered for was getting picked up by someone else. As moderately happy as I am that she was able to show off her drag, she didn't really do anything to earn her way onto All Stars the way someone like Kahana or Kylie did. The next bad casting choice, and this is a bit of a stretch, is Ongina. Ongina 100% earned a spot on All Stars, and I'm very glad she got to come back. It just shouldn't have been All Stars 5. I think the optimal time to bring back Ongina might have been All Stars 1. This is not meant as a criticism of Ongina as a whole, more of her within the scope of All Stars 5. Ongina did not stack up to competitors like Shea, Cracker, Juju, and Alexis. I know that might be a bit harsh, but I really don't have sympathy for someone who would take a slot on an All-Star season and then quit on episode 2. The next bad casting choice was Mariah Paris Balenciaga. Mariah's talent show performance was incredible, and if she had maintained that level the entire season, she could have won. Sadly though, she really didn't shine outside of that final episode, and it really makes me wonder why they brought her back. As always, I'm very glad that a queen got another shot and got to compete again. Unfortunately for Mariah, this was just a very top-heavy cast, and this might not have been the right time to bring her back. The third major flaw with the season was bad judging. The talent show is the perfect example of how bad the judging this season was. Really weird choices. So, based off the talent show performances, we have a top 3 and a bottom 3. So far, so good. Top 3 in the original season is India Farah, Alexis Mateo, and Ms. Cracker. None of these queens did a bad job. In fact, India and Alexis absolutely deserve their top placements. Ms. Cracker, though, I don't see it as much. I would put Ms. Cracker at 4th, maybe 5th this week, but it was honestly wild to me that they decided Mariah's spoken word was not worthy of praise. The bottom 3 make some interesting decisions. We have Angina, Mayhem, and Derek. That is definitely the deserved bottom 3, just not in the right places. From what I have heard, Derek's performance had its best parts cut out. With that in mind, I think you could make a pretty solid argument for Derek being low with Angina and Mayhem being in the bottom. If Derek was there for the rest of the season, it would have added much needed drama and storyline throughout the season. She had a huge feud with India. In the end, I think production kinda just shot themselves in the foot episode 1 letting Derek leave. Derek is one of the few people on this cast that 100% deserved it, and she should have made it further. The second layer of the bad judging this season is in the Snatch game. If you are not in the top, you are in the bottom. This is one of the worst twists the show has ever done. In the Snatch game, Shay, Alexis, and Jujubee absolutely knocked it out of the park. This was not a competition. Meanwhile, you have a clear bottom 3 in Blair, Cracker, and India. For the judging though, and I truly do not know why, production decides that this is the week to start putting everyone in the bottom, and drops Alexis and Shay from a high or win placement to a bottom placement. This maybe could have been an okay twist had it not been for Alexis and India's fight. The fight was caused 100% by Alexis being in the bottom alongside India and India trying to save herself. The fight resulted in India going home, but Alexis's strategic and social game for the rest of the season was ruined. This twist added a lot of unnecessary drama and robbed Alexis of being in the top 4, maybe even the top 3. The final flaw is not specific, but it's more some overarching flaws from throughout the season. The first overarching flaw is the win order. In order, we have India, Shay, Jujubee, Cracker. So far, that is a good start. It really spreads out the wins. It feels like there's a lot of different people that could take it home. In episode 5, Shay gets her second win. Kinda deserved, I get it. Should have been Alexis, but still reasonable. Then Ms. Cracker wins the ball. I probably would have given it to Juju, Shay, or Alexis before her. That's just me. Then we have the comedy challenge where Cracker gets her third win. Every challenge win this season made at least a bit of sense. It's just all of it combined makes a very top-heavy cast, where there is only one challenge win outside of the finalists. As we saw in Season 15, this does not make for good or entertaining TV. I don't know why production did it like this. The final overarching flaw for the season was bad drama. Good drama, like we had on the early seasons of Drag Race, really improves the quality of the TV and keeps people coming back. This season, what drama was there? We had India and Derek fighting each other throughout episode 1, and then we had Alexis and India fighting each other for like 2 minutes of the actual show in episode 5. Apart from that, what did we really have? That flaw leads me into the main critique I have for this season. It was incredibly boring. You didn't have drama, you had a very clear top 3 pretty much from, I would say, week 3 or 4. You had a pretty boring elimination order, you had terrible win distribution, and you had middle-of-the-road lip syncs. All Stars 5 was not bad because it was bad. It was bad because it was boring, which is somehow worse. I view All-Stars 1 in higher regard than this, because while All-Stars 1 had a few highs and a lot of lows, it had highs. This season, instead of highs and lows, was just meh and low. And that, in my opinion, makes it the worst season of All-Stars. Hey, it's Drag Race Rejudged. Do you want gay shit? Well then check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged YouTube channel and hit subscribe.